What's up, guys? Here we are, live, another episode. DK101, what are you doing, Angle? You cannot be watching this stream and driving at the same time. I don't know if that's okay. Can't condone that. But, please do not drive. If you're driving, please be sure you're not the actual one driving when watching the stream. I need my people. I need my people alive. I need my viewers alive, because who else is going to help me pay for all these loans that I don't have? Yo, what's up, Spoon? Yo, the Spice Gang is back. A little bit delayed after not being able to stream on Wednesday. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, Spoon. Compliment on the fit. Say, you're stuck in traffic? Hate to see it. Yeah, hate to see that right now. Yep, Spice Gang Solution is in chat as well. We are, got a lot of great stuff to talk about today. I'm in a really scuffed setup, by the way, so there's a really good chance that my grandmother or my uncle will come in and interrupt. So if I end up going mute for a couple minutes or a couple moments, my bad. But yeah, a lot of great stuff to talk about today. We got syllabus week is really heating up. That's happening first. We got ECRC kicks off tonight. We're really excited for that. Some other big news happening. CKL 6v6 spring season just went live. First sign-ups. Grandpa Spicy, dear lord. Don't make me feel any older than I am. After my birthday this week, it was first of all, thank you guys for the happy birthday messages in the different servers. Really appreciate that, guys. Actually, you don't even know. Rumble mentioned Spice Gang. How's it hanging? Let's go. Rumble, happy to see them in chat as well. Excited for the Oklahoma VOD review tonight. I'm gonna try and wrap this stream up in less than 2 hours. We'll see if we actually get to that, because a bunch of my viewers are gonna have to play in ECRC. So, shout out for the 1 bit. I might be frozen on my thing, which is gonna be great. But, so, good thing to note. My, net here is much worse than it is normally. So this is going to be potentially rough in terms of streaming. Just want you guys to hang in there with me. Where am I getting pinged? Oh, yeah, okay, that's where I'm getting pinged. By the way, guys, shout out to Short. If you don't already follow Short, twitch.tv/slightlyshort. Go follow Short. One of the best players in the collegiate community. Really want to see them over there. Don't have these things set up. No. I'm gonna quick promote this guy in chat as well. Not sure if they're live right now, but what is Short doing? We don't know. But yeah. Other things I gotta do. Where is it? Shout out to 9 viewers in chat already. I'd love to see you guys showing up, showing out. But yeah, like I mentioned, gonna try and keep this stream relatively quick. A bunch of the people in ECRC are playing tonight at 7 EST, so I want to make sure they are playing and not watching my thing. So let's go to the emotes. Yeah, there's a couple emotes now. One, I think, for followers only, and maybe one for subs. I don't know how this works, but the Michigan Kutztown Scrim. That is big. That's actually huge. And that's also the topic for next week's episode, by the way, so that'll be fun. Where's my profile? Okay. Okay, let's get started then. Actual episode. Where's my screen share button? First of all, big thing, if you haven't already, go to Gyarados' Twitter, who has the survey for the 2023 Mario Kart Awards, and make sure you vote in every category, get the best results possible. We want people to vote for Spoon, by the way, for Best Shock Dodge, Technical for a lot of different awards, and also myself for Best Snipe. So if you haven't already gone over to Gyarados' Twitter, filled out this form, go do this. So yeah, you want to, vote Spoon. Spoon is definitely one of the players you want to vote for. Having one of the best shock dodges I've ever seen in my life. Not just this year. Paid for this, by the way. Love that. Yeah, we gotta uplift the homies here. This is just a community, big family. Gotta do that. So yeah, vote Tech, vote Spoon, vote myself. Most unbiased advert ever, yes. I don't think I have much of a shot at winning this, but like if we can at least get Spoon that win, that's all I'd be happy about. That's the birthday present I want from the CK community, whether that be ECRC, the new people maybe jumping in for the first time, or the CKL community. Baja, don't remind me. So yes, I've just found out I got a second child. Angle is my kid. My son. I just found out Angle was my son, like, on Tuesday, because they changed their name to Spicy Sun, and I did not know this until playing, like, a random Froome, and I'm like, Nox, you gotta tell me these things first. You gotta tell me when you're adopting someone. Okay, Dynamo, I hope whatever you had from the microwave was good. Whatever the Kusan microwave meal is, hook me up. I gotta know. Okay, now let's get into the actual stuff. Gotta kick it off with some Syllabus Week information. So Syllabus Week got really interesting recently because potentially one of the upsets of the year just happened. Once I find it. We'll get to that first. We'll get to those eventually, but we'll kick it off with the first match of since last week. UCLA versus Alabama. I want to say this was losers sevens or losers quarters. No, it was before losers quarters, whatever that round is called. You are not going to look like a fraud. Okay, yeah, rough time in chat because UNI is going to be covered, Alabama is going to be covered, but aggression to the wall, Obama probably. Everyone's calling each other friends. None of you are frauds. You guys are here for a reason. You guys are all great players. But here we are. UCLA 512 to Alabama 472. A plus 40 win for UCLA. Broken at a Cairo 115. Joy 97. Emilio 91. D-Mouse 75. Zane 70. And NA 27 64. Meanwhile, from Alabama, Solution 120, J 109, Draw Yellow 77, Trombone Wizard 75, Thermal 48, Rissy 43. Okay, Solution is by no means a fraud. This is a Solution statement game, by the way. Just look at this. Not only did Solution drop a 120 on UCLA, Solution outscored Cairo. It's very rare to see that happen, period, let alone from an opponent. So, props to Alabama for putting up an amazing fight against UCLA. Solution cashed one of his 3 J tokens and didn't even win. You know what? It's rough. Alabama literally brought this is one of the best Alabama lineups you can think of right here. Missing Bradshaw, I guess, but this is a very strong Alabama lineup. And sometimes you cash in those tokens, you don't get the prize at the end, and that's just how life goes, man. But if you're Alabama, this was a great result. I'm honestly really excited to see what they do, not only in CKL this spring, but ECRC, because we'll talk about this later, but Alabama, I think, is going to be one of the strongest teams in the country moving forward. And if they're able to just consistently get these players, maybe start developing the Thermals, the Rizzies, the other players on this team, Alabama's going to be saying Roll Tide for a while because, hey, I think Alabama's going places. And sure, this might not be the result they wanted in Syllabus Week, but this is a great Alabama team, and I think they're going off to amazing things. UCLA, great stuff as well for them. You're seeing Joy and Emilio really putting up big numbers. The Dynamo shock farming. We'll talk about that next time, Dynamo. So, Cairo with the 1. Cairo getting some great support over here, and really, top to bottom, this was just a consistent effort from UCLA. And I didn't watch the VOD or anything from this, sadly, but I think this is just a really good thing from UCLA. Yeah, shout out to Joy, Philippine Pride, let's go. I have a Philippine flag somewhere around here. I don't know where it is, though. I didn't know who Emil was, actually, so gosh, shout outs to them. Dropping that 91 is critical for UCLA to really get them in. And of course, Baja, support the fellow females in the Mario Kart scene. Love to see the support. Gotta move on then to PSP versus UCLA losers quarters. We're looking at a 558 to 426 win in favor of the Peach State Patriots, plus 132 overall. Okay, I was gonna say, Dynamo, that was the Emilio, I was thinking there was Emilio. Yeah, Emilio was really good in the FFA Season 0, but this is Solution going crazy because this is huge statement win for PSP, and I've been on the PSP hype train for a while now, but this just makes me so excited for this team. Spoon 129, Luxatone 103, Bassoon Boy 92, Dynamo 91, Spruce 75, Ray 68. Meanwhile, from UCLA, 121 from Cairo, Emil 82, Joy 65, Max 61, Soul Rain 54, D-Mouse 43. This is just a Peach State masterclass. The PlayStation Portables, the Peach State Patriots. Phenomenal win. Dominant win on a very good team. Like, this is one of the biggest statement wins you can have in Syllabus Week. And, like, really, going into the spring season, PSP has to be one of the favorites at this rate, because this is such a good roster now. There's so much depth here, and I'm such a believer that in this semester, you're really going to see that how depth wins out. Spoon with the 129 especially, Spoon is becoming, like, on another level. This is, like, superstar status right here. We were wondering, I don't think people were wondering if Spoon's gonna hit the technical level. If Spoon's gonna hit that, like, the Iona level from Ontario United. Because, like, especially without being on Peach States, it was going to be like, is Spoon going to be able to rise up to the occasion? And I think this is exactly the answer. Spoon is phenomenal. And then you have Luxatone, Bassoon Boy, Kusan, Spruce Ray. Everyone here just adding all these points. Dynamo doing that with shock bagging, apparently, also. The brick wall of Kusan, the Kusan shock bagging. Hey. And getting the 91, that's insane. Changing my name to Fork in the match tomorrow to counter Spoon. You know what, Rumble? That might be mentioned. That might be the play. We'll go over that in the VOD tonight, but I think that might be one of the things you gotta do if you're Oklahoma. And then UCLA. The run ends here, but this is a great debut tournament for them. We knew Cairo was going to play well, and Emilio's, like, showing up, showing out. And while it was an off game for the rest of their four, I think UCLA still looking good. I definitely think UCLA is going to be a big threat going into Division 1 of next season. There's no way they're Division 2, I feel, but because there's just super good players here. Cairo alone, like, if you put Cairo in Division 2, that's just, like, the biggest nightmare I can think of. Emilio is going to be very good for them, yeah. Like, I think the biggest thing for UCLA for a while was, like, we knew Cairo, we knew Joy, who was going to be the third option, and I think Emilio's really rising up to the occasion. And I think that's going to be a huge focal point for them moving forward. We will save this, because this one I want to talk about in a lot more depth. Oklahoma versus UNI in losers quarters. Oklahoma with a 533 to UNI's 451, a plus 82 win for Oklahoma. Okay, first of all, Rhino Bites Masterclass? Excuse me? Rhino Bites Masterclass, 123 from Rhino Bites. Takadesa, 89. Rumble Mention, 85. JWT, 81. Broto Bias, 80. That Big Brown Boy, 75. Meanwhile, from UNI, Lemons was another Masterclass of 124. Dapper Boo with an 89. Archie, 73. Nick, 64. Icy, 63. And Accident, 38. Solution bringing that up right now. Yeah, no player on Oklahoma drops below 75, and we knew that was going to happen. Rumble's in an ad. I'm going to wait. When Rumble's... This is the time where we can just start spamming Rumble mentions, I guess. Rumble, tell me when you're... He's not... I forgot I have ads on. Yeah, these Rumble mentions, yeah, gotta farm those. Okay, if my computer will just, like, if my internet doesn't die, I'd love it. Nice. Okay, Rumble's back. So, this was actually kind of back and forth. The score doesn't tell the whole story because at the end of the first GP, UNI was up. Which, if we're being honest, Oklahoma has consistently led after the first GP basically all year. So this was surprising to see Oklahoma down after the first GP. And then Oklahoma, like, who typically struggled relatively in the second GP, came back and then just ran away. Like, the DKJ top 5 was insane. I don't know, Lemons. I can't say you choke. You can't choke with a 124. That's just not possible. And just knowing how OUA... No, not OUA. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve the A. They deserve to be called OU like they should have been. Seeing Oklahoma just clutched up. I think Oklahoma just adapted. And it's really just a testament to like how good Oklahoma's team is top to bottom. 72 after 6 and still ending 124 is amazing, though. Like, 124, you can't be disappointed with a 124. 124 is just such a good team. Such a good score. Oklahoma got to be the fastest team in the last 6 months. It's either Oklahoma or UNI. It's legitimately these two teams who are, like, the most improved teams since last season ended. Like, legitimately, yes. Rumble just mentioned it. That was not intentional, I swear. They locked in. I heard it on comms. I heard it when I was taking notes on the VOD. Oklahoma was just on another level at the race 6. Like, this was like, I don't know what Rhino Bites was cooking. I don't know what happened here, but this is just Oklahoma reaching that other level, which we knew they could. Thank you again for the bit. Okay, so one thing I'm realizing, and I hate to say this, but every time I get a bit, my computer lags, so I don't know. Normally I appreciate it a lot, but right now my net ain't it, so I don't know if my computer can handle this for much longer, but we will try, we will do our best. But yeah, UNI, Rhino Legacy game. We'll talk about that tonight, because like, you can tell me, actually, what's the Oklahoma, like, record in terms of scoring? Because you don't typically see Oklahoma scoring this high. So 123 is insane. And then, yeah, UNI, this is nothing to be ashamed of here. They were up in the first half. They were up well. They had some momentum going. They just got beat out on some unfortunate tracks here. Rhino has it, that makes sense. So, UNI picked New York Minute, one of their best routes, one of the Lemon specialties, and it just didn't work out in their favor. And that just like really was a nail in the coffin, I think, and really helped OU, not OUA, just come back. There were a few other moments, but like UNI, this is nothing to be ashamed of. This is like, if Morgan was a statement win for UNI, it's just despite what the result shows, UNI has had one of the best runs in this tournament. Like, legitimately. They're scouting your time trials, Lemons. Like, that's true. They probably are. But, gotta do what you gotta do. I can't leak the Oklahoma time trials either, because acting as their coach, I'm not allowed to do that, but they're putting in a lot of work. And I'm excited to see what Oklahoma does. They also, both these teams in 6v6, gonna be scary. Maybe I'll have a hot take for 6v6 coming up, but I think Oklahoma, I think it's their time. Assuming if Oklahoma's Division 2, I think they win it all. Maybe I'm not biased, but I'm probably biased for Oklahoma at this point, but I think Oklahoma, at the rate they're going, looking really good. And I think I called it in the Syllabus Week preview. Oklahoma was going to get no lower than 4th. Do look at that. But maybe it's just luck of their bracket, but I think Oklahoma at 4th place. I saw it coming. At minimum 4th. It's going to be rough because Oklahoma plays Peach State, and if I'm being quite honest, I think Peach State is just Oklahoma but better in terms of like how they're structured. So I think, and that's I guess that's foreshadowing for what my prediction is. It'll be rough for Oklahoma, but at the way Oklahoma's playing, never know. But I think nothing comes close to what we saw in winners finals. The University of California, San Diego, with one of the biggest upsets so far, if not the biggest upset of the year so far. 502 to Michigan's 482, a plus 20 win for UCSD. Michigan is in shambles. They're not at the tournament, but wow. Wow, common short L. Oh, dang solution. I need a Michigan-Alabama match at some point. I hope they're in this. I'm not sure the likelihood of that happening, but I really want for a Michigan-Alabama match. So we're looking at UCSD. This is one of the craziest tables I've ever seen. Like, let's look at this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11? You mean to tell me you don't get top 3 and you still win? This is an Oklahoma moment, honestly. Wow, that's crazy. And that's in the middle of Adam's Dash. That was, if you find a reaction, let me know, because that's a clip I want to see. So look at this. This is one of the craziest rooms I've ever seen. You mean to tell me, 7 players score over 95? This is, like, crazy. Like, over half the room has scored 95. I don't think I've ever seen that on a table before in a 6v6. 4 players on UCSD scored over 90. 3 players on Michigan scored 110 minimum. Okay, that seems like something Oklahoma would do. That makes sense. That does seem like an Oklahoma thing, actually. Okay, use Astra 100, Wallabies 98, Super FX 97, Top Hat Bear 96, Flight 59, AC 52. You can talk about Astra, you can talk about Wall, you can talk about Super FX all you want. Top Hat Bear is such a name you have to watch out for now. This is one of the fastest rising players I think we've ever seen. And they're going to be thrown into Division 1 on a championship contender immediately, and you see this results, like, early on? This is scary. This is reminiscent of Bo on Kutztown last season, but even more impressive in a way, because Top Hat Bear, to my knowledge, is much more newer than Bo was at that point last season. So, like, we know Astra, Wall, and Super FX are going to play well when they're all together. And to see, like, Top Hat Bear is 4 points away from MVPing for UCSD. That is insane stuff. But yeah, the consistency from UCSD won out. Because you look at oh no, that's one of my picks, honestly, Lemons. I think Accident from UNI could be most improved next season. Like, that's legitimately one of the names I'm looking at for most improved. And now you look at Michigan. Crow 130, Whooper 113, Shorts 110, C2D 55, Toad 53, Henry 21. I know, I see that in chat, Rumble. I see that in chat. It's crazy, but honestly, yeah, it's weird to think about it, but Oklahoma could have been here instead of UCSD. Maybe Oklahoma pulls it off. Never know. Because, like, Oklahoma's structured similarly to UCSD in a way, where they will have just more consistency. And if they're able to just make things harder for the for newer players than Michigan, that becomes scary. But yeah, this is insane. It's very rare you'll see 3 players score over 110 on a team, and then they lose the war still. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen that, or this kind of thing happens. Maybe top 3 and lose I can see, but 110 minimum is just insane. And I think that it shows that Michigan Michigan's newer players, it's hard because these are players who are much newer to the game, I'm assuming, or from what I've heard, are just newer to the scene compared to like their top three. So they're thrown in really hard opponents right away. And sure, you're thrown into the fire, but like it's not easy to get thrown into the situation playing for a chance in grand finals early on. And I think you'll see this season these players are gonna be relied on early, especially to like this is Michigan with no Fexican, but are we gonna be able to rely on Crow, Looper, Short, Fexican, those four every week? We don't know. And like Fexican changes this, but Solution is also right. It's hard to improve in this situation, in this scenario. This is an environment that is like really rough to improve in because like you're not thrown against players around your skill level right away. So it's hard, and like yes, you can learn really quickly from like really good players, but break over the live jazz band, that's cool. In Oklahoma? Maybe I should come down. Yes. So it's hard. It will really depend. Michigan's strength is their top four because Michigan is insane with their tops. But we've seen it time and time again. The 5 and 6 really do matter, especially when it's a 4-5-6. So we hope to see these players clutch up. We really root pulling for them because Michigan, if these players improve quickly, it might be over for everyone. Because then you got this added with players who are putting up better with increasingly better results. Michigan's gonna be even scarier. Give Michigan time if they have the time, and they're gonna run away maybe. So it leads us into the bracket, which I don't know if I have it up yet. Okay, it's not updated, but we have a gist of it. So Michigan, Triton. Okay, let's just go here. So it's Peach State versus Oklahoma. Realistically, Peach State wins this. Love the people over at Oklahoma, but I think Peach State's experience is just really hard to get through, especially when they have players like Spoon who are playing increasingly well, only getting better. You have Kusan here, Dynamo. You have Luxatone, and that's only their top three. Peach State's just looking really good right now. And winner of that plays Michigan. That's hard. Is it a stretch to say that if Michigan's missing one of their top four, Peach State wins? Like, legitimately, if Michigan's missing one of their top four now, if the UCSD result is anything to show, Peach State could beat Michigan here. You're really relying on like having as many of your tops as possible. And it's so crazy to think about it because Michigan looks like such a super team on paper, but the 5 and 6 just matters so much now in this league. So if you're missing any of your top players in Michigan, you're really relying on a huge clutch up from your newer players. And it's hard to have that clutch up so soon. So like Peach State still has to play well, yes. But if Peach State keeps it close, like UCSD was against them, against Michigan, then I can see Peach State winning. So yeah, I'll pencil it in. I'm gonna have I think I'm gonna run with Peach State in Grands. So it'll be UCSD versus Peach State. Oops, my bay. That's true. I forgot about that. The line between D1 and D2 is much smaller, yeah. You have exactly what I think I'm thinking, Solution. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna pencil it in. I think Peach State wins Grands. I think they beat UCSD twice. Like, legitimately, Peach State is just playing on such a good level right now. Like, this is a team that is firing on all cylinders. Their best and then, like, depth matters so much now, and Peach State's depth is on another level. Yeah, exactly. I think what Spoon says is right. So if Peach State pulls it off against Michigan, I think Peach State rolls with the momentum, and they win it all. And Peach State's going to be syllabus week champions. That might be the timeline we've been looking for, but fatigue. That's a great point. Like, you're going to be playing back-to-back sets, back-to-back wars. So, and the same thing with Spoon mentioned. The newer players, the experience is going to matter in this situation because Peach State's going to be playing. Peach State has the experience compared to the lower half of UCSD and the lower half of Michigan. So, and I think experience and depth matter at this point a lot more than they will in like the spring season for 66. But in syllabus week, in the bracket formats, I'm gonna go with it. I think Peach State wins here. Now, if Oklahoma beats Peach State, I don't know what we do. But that's gonna be a VOD review and a half, I guess, for me. But realistically, I think Peach State wins it all. Maybe I'm just really high on Spoon and what Peach State is doing these past few weeks. But I think Peach State can win it all here. And if we come back Wednesday, it will be on Wednesday. If we come back and that Peach State wins the Grands, I won't be surprised. And it'd be like, but really, between any of these teams left, whoever wins, congrats to them. But I do think Peach State is the favorite here. Probably. That's, yeah, if UCSD wins, if Peach State gets eliminated by Oklahoma. I think UCSD beats Michigan again. It might not be a clean two. It might not be in the first match. It might be in the reset, but I think Michigan will be tired, the newer players especially. And at that point, you're relying a lot on Crow, Looper, and Shorts. Okay, ECRC stuff. Okay, 34 minutes stream. Nice. Yeah, we're on good timing then. So, as you mentioned earlier, to wrap up the CKL announcements, first off, we got banners. Shoutouts to Jay for making these sick banners. These look really good. So yeah, once again, congratulations to Ontario United. I love how it has the roster as well. And the track that they all wanted. So congratulations to Ontario United from D1. We're not going in order because I messed up. Iona University in 3. Cheesley, dear Lord. And House Divided from Division 2. Yeah, you're gonna need like 6 players to drop a 123. That's how it feels on it to beat Peach State at this moment. And remember, 6v6 season registration is live for that. It's starting on March 2nd, goes until April 20th. Oh my god. A lot of things happening on April 20th. This is Super Road Rage, by the way. If you're in the Mid-Atlantic area, this is a really good tournament to go to. Match start on Saturday night still. I know that's caused some controversy, but I know there's a lot of pushback from both sides on like reschedule or not reschedule, and then yeah. So if you're interested though, 66 season registration's up. Go do that. And now we'll kick it off into some ECRC. Wherever that is, there's ECRC. Okay, we can start with 4s because 4s is a lot quicker. There's a meme zone now? Oh dear lord. Shout out Mitch, by the way. Mitch, by the way, for helping out staff on ECRC. Really glad to have him there. Okay, so we're starting off with 4s because 4s is a lot quicker than FFA. FFA's got a lot of stuff to talk about. FFA starts tonight, by the way. 4s starts tomorrow. So, Division 1, we're looking at University of Michigan, Peach State Patriots from the University of Georgia, Michigan State University, the University of Alabama, Moravian University, and the University of Maryland. I think the big names here right now, well, first of all, you got Michigan Peach State, both just top contenders overall in CKL. This is Michigan State's first tournament since being split up from House Divided, and it's the bulk of House Divided, actually. Mine is short, but their Michigan State's still very good. Alabama's coming off a good run in syllabus week, and because Alabama only has to gather 4 players, this looks really good for them here. Moravian is in Division 1 for the first time ever in anything, which is really hyped there. Moravian also has me playing as a sub, which I know Moravian's excited about. I don't know how others feel, but like, hey, maybe this is my chance to... This is my first chance to play in D1 in anything, so that's cool, kind of cool. And University of Maryland. This is a lot of the remnants of McDaniel Green Terror. Legit solution, yeah. Michigan State's gonna go under the radar. In fact, I feel like legitimately, these 4 teams are gonna fly under the radar here. Because these are all, like, surprisingly solid. Like, everyone's gonna look at Michigan, they're saying, oh my gosh, well, I don't think Crow is playing this, though. It's Mexican, Whooper, and Short, and then a 4th. And then Peach State has a really deep lineup as well. So that's really exciting. Yeah. Peach State's got a deep lineup. It's really hard to figure out here. Michigan State, like, there's so many good players here. You got Nova, you got Silver. I don't know. Nunley. Missing a few here, but Michigan State's really good. Alabama's going to be really good. Solution, Brejo, Trombone Wizard, Jay. Moravian's good. Angle, Baja, Wumbo, Knox, myself off the bench. Maryland has Shamchez, Maryland has Luffy, and then a couple other players who we don't know much about. But if you're a local, then Maryland's actually really scary. I don't know who wins one. Legitimately. Maybe I'm going to go Peach State again, because I'm just really on the Peach State train, but you could actually make an argument for most of these teams. Alabama's going to fly under the radar. I don't know who wins D1. That's a great pun. Can you imagine that, Zay? Like, what do we do if, like, in the last couple weeks of the season, Fate decides, oh, I like the game again. So, Maryland's best player, arguably the best player in this entire division, is on Maryland's bench. And because they're retired, but Fate who used to play for Royal Flush, is honestly potentially the best player in this entire division. But they're not active anymore. But like, if we thought Ice on Virginia Tech was scary, Fate on Maryland might be even scarier. But sub, it's hard to tell. And like as Spoon mentioned, I have to wait a week here to see my thoughts, because I honestly don't really know. Peach State, I think, is like the favorite. Maybe Michigan. I feel like Michigan stock has gone a lot lower ever since that UCSD loss, and after some closer results to UNI, Peach State. Yeah, I'm super excited to see the results as well, because there's a lot to unpack here. Alabama now with like full lineup. How does that compare? How does Michigan State, who we haven't seen scrim results from, how are they doing? Is the secrecy of the Maryland LAN experience going to come out in full force? Is the alleged spicy difference going to make a big impact for Moravian and like surprise people? Does Peach State prove why they're one of the deepest teams in the country? Does Michigan show why they are have the best top starting lineup in the scene? Appreciated solution. Now, I feel so bad in a way, because like I feel like people look at Moravian And like, oh my god, this is like Spicy's chance to play in collegiate when it's in my eyes, it's like this is technically players like Knox and Wumbo. This is their last chance in collegiate. And I feel bad kind of like taking the spotlight off of them. So I'm riding the bench probably unless needed, but we'll see. By the alumni rule anyway, I'm not allowed to play if all of Moravian gathers, so it'll be interesting to see how this actually impacts things. We will come back to this next week. Meanwhile, for Division 2, Morgan State University, UAH, University of Alabama, Huntsville, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, UTK, Virginia Tech, Siena College, Penn West, Edinboro, McDaniel, and NC State. So my favorite thing about ECRC, and we'll talk about this more in FFA, but there's a lot of schools here that you're not going to be able to see in CKL this season. So like, because of the smaller rosters needed, you're going to be seeing these newer schools, and maybe it's the pipeline in the CKL. Maybe this is just a chance for them to make smaller teams work. So I'm really excited to see some schools. Morgan State, obviously headlined by Zay, but you got players like Nitro who are really showing up, showing out. And then there's some other depth there at Morgan State that I think is really going to develop nicely here. Creo on UAH is insane. Like, we talked about this not enough last season. I feel bad about it, but I remember mentioning this talking about it with Zay last night during our staff meeting for ECRC. UAH flew under the radar so much last season. We talked about Iona. We talked about Oklahoma. We talked about UNI a lot. But UAH made playoffs in Division 3. UAH won their division, won their conference. UAH was a few points away from making D3 finals. UAH had the MVP in Creo in terms of like points. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, Creo plays funky. I don't even know what Creo was doing or how Creo pulls us off, because what? Absolute insanity. UTK, we saw Tennessee improve a lot, over the course of their syllabus week matches compared to their first ever script. And then now they have Evolved, who plays on contingency. And I think that's really going to be scary here. Going to give a chance to see how Tennessee develops heading into 6v6, assuming they play it next season. And as well as getting a chance to see how Tennessee looks to be as a program going forward. Virginia Tech. When we seeded this, I don't think we had Ice playing, but I saw Ice is now in the server, so I have no idea if Ice is playing. Because if Ice is playing, then oh god. Ice is a sub. D2. Give me a second. I'm walking away for a bit. I'm walking away after that. Give me a second. What? Okay, so Ice is an emergency sub in D2. You mean to tell me that D2 might actually have, like, the best players? If we let Maryland beat D2, the bench team in D2 would have been, like, the craziest thing ever. You could have had Fates. You could have had... Legitimately, actually, if you look at just emergency subs, the emergency sub team is kind of crazy for these schools. Ice, Fates. I can't even put myself there. I'm not even the best sub in the league anymore. No, Solution has a great point. The D2 teams aren't that much worse than D1. We were struggling to figure out like who was filling in D1, honestly. Or filling the last spots. Because, like, I legitimately think Morgan had a case to be D1. Tennessee with Evolved is to be D1. We put Tennessee here because we I think, like, if you look aside from Evolved, Tennessee is probably much better in D2. Virginia Tech is similar. Okay, Tennessee, Virginia Tech, Siena are legitimately 3 versions of the exact same team. Because it's a really good player, it's a Division 9 player in all 3 of these teams, and then 3 players we don't know much about. Virginia Tech we have a bit more data on because of CKL, so like Hyper Evil Man, for example. Is Glizzard on Virginia Tech, I think. So it's hard. Like, we'll talk about Siena now. Siena College tried to be in CKL, but they weren't able to gather because not having enough players. But this is headlined by Jinja Ninja, otherwise known as LA Knight, who plays for Buzz in D9. Can we trade VT for Moravian? I will drop the D2. I would be so happy for a Moravian drop to D2. Like, honestly, I would be happy with a Moravian drop to D2. No, I do not say it's just easy farming for me, but, or easy farming for Moravian, but I don't know. In a way, I think it's kind of cool for Moravian to be D1 in something. Like, let's go. The first ever college team finally hits D1 in something. Whether or not it was just because of Sambert and Zay being ECRC staff and seeing the alleged spicy difference, who knows? Yeah, I think this is the best we could with the info we had. Because there really isn't much. Like, Siena has 1 really good player, and then 3 players we know nothing about. And then you'll get a team like Penn West Edinburgh, who is headlined by Asmund. If you don't know who Asmund is, Asmund got 2nd place in Division 2 of the FFA for MDVA, which it was called back then, but is now ECRC. Really good player, only losing out to Shamchez, who's very good. And then Asmund also got, I want to say 5th at Riptide in Mario Kart, which that's a LAN out of like 76 players. Yeah, I'll fill you in on. I'll give you what I can in a bit. It's like at Asmund's first ever like big LAN, there's like 70 players. He got 5th, which was insane stuff. Granted, the competition there wasn't exactly like MomoCon level, but to get 5th at like your first ever LAN, that's kind of crazy. And then the rest of Penn West Edinburgh we know nothing about. McDaniel is headlined by Glacial, Samberts, and a couple other more experienced players. 5th out of 70 is crazy, yes. I will also say this is one of the first coaching experiences I did, because I helped coach Asmund into finals. A lot of it was just raw talent on his own, but a lot of my help was just like watching him from behind and then just helping out with his decision making and like track picking, whatever. So that was like it was really cool to see him make it in the finals there. Got to meet a lot of the PWE guys are really cool. If you haven't met, if you get a chance to talk to them, amazing people. McDaniel, we know Sambert, we know Glacial. I think they're underseeded, if I'm being honest, but this isn't really heavily seeded, and like the seedings in this really matter within division don't matter. And NC State's all brand new. NC State, I'm really excited to look towards because like we know nothing about them. If you want to know about Maryland, backtrack. They're headlined by 2 players, Luffy, who played. I don't know if Luffy is still rostered on MK University, but they're there. I know they focus more on like the LAN stuff and more FFA stuff, but like Luffy is a very solid player from what I've heard. Bit of a legend, I think, when it comes to like the Maryland scene. A bit more of a something like you just hear stories about. But Luffy, I've heard pretty good stuff. Shamchez is another really good player for them. I think Shamchez is now on U-Turn. I could be wrong, but I remember seeing that name there. They were doing crazy stuff. They were basically the MVP. Them and top 4 boss / Zim for McDaniel Green Terror in CKL last season. So I think that Maryland has a really good 2. I don't know who their 3-4 is, like, at all. One of the most interesting things is that Maryland has one of the most active collegiate Mario Kart scenes in the country, but no one knows about them online because they are really, like, tight-knit, and they're really focused on, like, in-person events at their college. So there's not much we know of unless you're, like, from the McDaniel Road Rage series, or unless you're, like, maybe they don't even go to Capital Clash. And, like, I don't know if Morgan knows much about Maryland either, because, like, a lot of Maryland is, like, relatively a secret. But we know that there's a lot of potential here. Like, I said on the BAM podcast, which is hosted by Spoon, one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to, by the way, one of the best podcast series ever. It's such a rip, honestly, but hopefully it comes back in some fashion in the future, because, like, but Maryland legitimately could it be one of the best teams in the country, and we don't know anything about them yet. So, like, this is why, like, ECRC is so critical here, because this might be the birth of, like, one of the best, or the debut of one of the best teams in the country. Like, Maryland is actually very scary. We just don't know enough about them yet. But if, like, especially, they're not ever going to be at full strength because their best players are all on their bench and they're not playing anymore. But can you imagine if you have a former Division Two player, a former Division Two MKU champion on your in your starting lineup? That'd be insane. But Fate doesn't play anymore, so Maryland's good. We do not want to underestimate Maryland. I think their result this week against Moravian and Peach State is going to be really telling of how good Maryland is. Maybe we're overhyping them. Maybe we are going to be stunned. If Maryland pulls out, like, some crazy win, if Maryland beats Moravian and Peach State, that is going to be one of the biggest stories next week. But we will talk about that later. Because, okay, let's talk about FFA. I will be right back because, yeah, I'm still recovering from my cold. Gotta blow my nose real quick. But take a look at this amazing graphic, amazing stuff that we're seeing from Sandbird. So I'll be right back, guys. Yeah, that's a spreadsheet, honestly. Okay, last topic for today. ECRC FFA. This is a big, honestly, possibly the main event of the league, because this is how it all started. This is basically where ECRC got its main thing, and there are, like, a lot of players. I don't know how many players are there now. Like, I want to know. I don't want to do math. I know it's 12. Not all of them are 12, which does not help, but 48. There's almost 80 players in ECRC FFA. Like, and if you thought seeing some of the schools like NC State, Edinboro, Siena was going to be interesting in the fours, there's even more schools here in FFA that aren't going to be seen anywhere else because they won't be in, like, CKL. Looking at Heidelberg from Ohio, NJCU, New Jersey City University, Howard, one of the some HBCU representation, love to see it. And even more, University of Ohio is now in here. UWG. Shout out Wisp. A lot of great players. So let's start off with. Okay. We're starting off with Division 1 FFA. So Got Solution from Alabama, Spoon from UGA, Mexican from Michigan, Bapu, Technical, Bo, all from Kutztown, Cynical from Virginia Tech, Cy B from UCF, Zay from Morgan State, Angle from Moravian, Bagel from Appalachian State, and Jinja from Siena. This is stacked. This is hella stacked. What do you do here? Like, getting, like, how do you, like, try not to get last, honestly? This is such a scary room. And this is not, like, imagine if Mitch was still playing. What do you do? What do you do? Like, you mean to tell me, like, players like Solution, Bo, Zay, Side B aren't even potentially, like, the favorites to win? Because, like, you have players like Technical, Batfu, Spoon, Mexican? There's multiple mid-div players here. Technical is now in D2, among many other things. So, like, everyone, I know the general consensus is that Technical is going to win this, but I don't blame you guys for being terrified. Maybe we'll go with a hot take here. Well, you know what? Why not? If Technical's not winning, let's go with a hot take. D1 is gonna get served because let's have Spoon winning Division 1. We're just gonna ride this whole Peach State hype train, and then, like, yeah, Spoon might win FFA. Why not? I don't know who's hosting D1, by the way. If any of you all want to let me know, feel free to. I haven't checked in the server much because I know I'm staff, but really, I did not do a very good job of staffing. My bad, guys. But what do you do? This is so scary. I know, granted, not all these players will be playing every week, so that'll be fun, but what do you do? Yeah, Bapu's good. Bapu's, like, gold, I think, also. If you look at MKU divisions, you're like, yeah, okay. D16, sure. And then, like, D8? D8, I think? D7? D2? D16? D9? I forget. I'm sorry. D14, D15, I also forget. And then D9. And then you look at lounge stats, and then they're like, oh, yeah, gold, gold, silver, silver. High bronze, high bronze, high bronze. Like, what do you do? Yummy or side B win? Ooh. FFA? Oh, shout out to Drexel's Riffy for getting in here. Yeah, we got some FFA Divisions 4, East Coast Racing Collegiate. This is the league ran by Sandbird, founded by Sandbird. This was a league that even predates CKL. So, really happy to get them some interesting stuff here. But yeah, that is a hot take, Spoon. Tech, Bapu, Mexican top 3. Now, if you want, so some history that you guys should probably know. Technical won. No, Technical got second, I think, last season. To Mitch, if I was right. It was either Mitch or Technical. I can't remember off the top of my head now who won Division 1. Batbu got 4th, losing out to Zay. Zay beat out Bo for a spot in finals. And then now you're adding players. Jinja now has a full season. Cynical's able to play. Side B is now here. Angle is now here. Bagel's now here. Spoon and Solution are added along with Mexican. What do you do? Technical, I know, is a big favorite from a lot of staff. I think, yeah, the majority of staff has Technical winning. Spoon has Bagel or Side B winning, and I think those are valid picks too. Spoon in FFA is not as good as Spoon in 6v6, which is sad to hear. I think Technical is the favorite still, but you will know, and, like, the scary thing is, FFA is volatile. One bad game in finals, and that's it for you. Maybe a bad game in semis, you don't even make finals. So that's going to be interesting to see. But if we go from D1 to D2, Why is D2 also really good? Like, thank God this is just alphabetical order because, oh, Asmund from PWE, Creo from UAH, MC from Kutztown, Goji from Iona, I don't know from Michigan State, JK8 Kutztown, Max from University of Florida, new school by the way, Obsidian Morgan State, Sam's from GWU, Sandberg from McDaniel, Trombone Wizard from Alabama, Wumbo from Moravian. Then you got Zim from Loyola, Wisp from UWG, Koba from Towson, Stepia from Kutztown, Renko FR from UTK, Nitro Morgan State, Jay from Alabama, Glacial from McDaniel, Dynamo from A, Klob from Morgan State, Baja from Moravian, and Anomaly from Kutztown. D2 is also stacked. Like, huh? I remember it's like, it was hard to like even seed everyone in D2. Because there's even D3 play. There were D1 players pushing. There were D2 players pushing D1. There were D3 players pushing D2. Had to make some rough cuts. And there's like, let's just talk about some names that probably aren't going to be mentioned as much. Or who are the favorites? In D2, I don't know who my money on is either. And I forget how we're doing playoffs, but Creo is going to go crazy. I'm really interested to see how Creo does in an FFA setting. Like this is a name I'm really interested to see. I really want to see the results here if how Creo does. I don't know is like I remember thinking I don't know is like the top seed here. Because I don't know, I felt like could have pushed D1. Honestly. There's a few players who like honestly could have been. Creo if with meta wins. That's true. Creo with meta honestly could be like the winner here. Creo before Wave 4 wins this. That's scary. I have I don't know winning 2A. I'm gonna have I don't know winning 2A. There's some players you don't want to sleep on though. I think JK8 could be surprising. Wumbo and Trombone could be surprising. Don't sleep on Asmund. And we can't sleep on Creo for sure. I'm interested to see how Max does here. Representing UF. And then moving over to 2B. 2B, I don't want to leak everything said, but certain player believes they are just going to run away with this in DB. And I'm really interested to see how the results shake up here. Because, yeah, certain player definitely believes they win if they show up. Maybe. We'll see how if that's the case. I really want to know. I really want to see them put their money where their mouth is. Because, like, it'd be such a good story to see them actually do that. Not going to say who it is. Not going to do that. But it's like, if it happens, insane. Goji's been on the grind. Love to see it. Yeah, Wisp, I think, is the favorite. I have Wisp winning 2B. Like, Wisp was also a player who, like, could have been D1. Really. I forget what was how he did it, but I remember it was like, I remember thinking, like, Wisp, Angle, I don't know, were all valid for D1. I think we might have just done it. Was that also a wheel, maybe? Who knows? Yeah, Kusan could clutch up. Why is Kusan in Division 2? Breaks everything I know. But, you know, I don't know. I know, and other things you want to look out for, Stepien. Stepien's very good. And the Kutztown difference is real in FFA. Like, Kutztown just pumps these players out because they have Technical and Bapu, and now Bo also helping. But, yeah, I think if I'm going to pencil in here, in 2A, I don't know. In 2B, I have Wisp. And when playoffs come and they merge, I'm going to roll with, I don't know. I think I don't know is going to win this. I don't know a lot of things here, but I think I'm pretty confident in the I don't know pick. Division 3? Division 3. There's some interesting players here. I know Bradshaw, I think, is really good here. I think they're favorites, honestly. I'm really interested in Cheesy Bread. Allegedly, Sunset Smoothie should be in D2. So I'm really interested to see that. If Sunset Smoothie just goes on a rampage in D3 and wins outright. It could happen. Never know. The Blizzard of Oz? Maybe. As well. But D3 is where we start to not know as much about the players. But I think I'm going to go with Bradshaw. D3. I think Alabama is really underrated as a team overall. And I know a lot of the attention goes to Solution. But I think Bradshaw wins in Division 3. I could see Sunset winning here as well. And if you want to go surprise pick, I think Cheesy Bread or Ronin are going to go under the radar in T3. Okay. D4 is where we start to not know much about players at all. But I've heard of G-Forcer. I know I've seen the Knight from UTK play. You can't ignore Kutztown players. You can't ignore Kutztown players whatsoever. But, and I know this is what the staff was just maybe memeing on, but Bobby J 10K? Bobby J 10K. You guys don't know. This is a new player from Heidelberg, from a school in Ohio. But Bobby J 10K has over 10,000 BR. Bobby J 10K is the truth. Bobby J 2345 is in chat. So yeah, Bobby J 10K. Staff is rolling on the hype train, and I think you got to as well. Bobby J 10K is over here for a reason. Bobby J 10K is seated first overall for a reason. No, this is not just alphabetical order. But you know what? Pencil it in. Bobby J 10K, the man, the myth, the legend, is gonna win Division 4. Put Heidelberg on the map of college Mario Kart. And this is gonna be one of the biggest free agents in the rest of the... After this league ends, you're gonna have MK University calling them up, Interstellar calling them up, OnlyFriends calling them up. I don't know. Bobby J is the truth. You know how how Zay got MVP after we as a community just pushed for it in CKL? I think that's gonna happen with Bobby J. Bobby J is basically the next coming of Kusan. Bobby J is actually just young Cinda or young Rookie. Bobby J is I don't know. Bobby J, any top player you want, this is just that's who Bobby J is going to be. G-Force is also good, as Solution mentioned. Hyper Evil Man's going to be underrated. I honestly think Hyper Evil Man's going to be very good. Any of the UTK players, they put in a lot of work and they have evolved coaching. I think, yes, Spoon. Yes, Spoon. You're gonna be a rookie and teach Bobby J 10K like Cinda. I could see it. But a lot of these good players are gonna be good. Obviously, maybe by next week things change and we have a lot more accurate predictions. But Michigan got top 5 against Kutztown? Oh, damn. Okay. Does anyone have the overall score of that? Because I really want to know. Curl drop 142? Oh, someone tell me when that goes in the scrim results, and then we'll analyze it live. Meanwhile, we will talk about Division 5A and Division 5B. It's me from NC State, JDP Craft from Heidelberg, JoJo.jpg from Morgan State, Ocean Rhapsody from Kutztown, Purple Nurple 456 from NJCU, Reb from Edinburgh, Saiku from Morgan State, Scrub Pycoon from Edinburgh, X Aquax from Edinburgh, and Kit Kat from Howard. Okay, if you're in Division 5, it's just players we don't know anything about. So, but I don't know. I think NC State's cooking something up. I think NC State might have it here. I think It's-A-Me wins out here. Am I just going off the tags? Maybe. But Ocean Rhapsody is Technical's girlfriend. So maybe Ocean Rhapsody is just the next Technical. You never know. If you have that kind of coaching, that's scary. And you've seen Kutztown just pump these players out. I could see her winning. So yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I'm going with Ocean or It's-A-Me. Maybe favoring Ocean here because the Kutztown difference is just real at this point. I got pinged, so I gotta know. Oh, okay. When that table gets made, I will be looking at. Whoa. Okay. I have a lot of questions. I'll get to that later. But yeah, Division 5A, 5B, we don't know a lot about. But what we do know is in Division 5B, Magellan, I think that's how you say it, from Kutztown, Powerin from Heidelberg, really good. Prism from NC State, Real J Hammett from Heidelberg, Skringle McCringleberry from Edinburgh, Sissy from Morgan State, Super Fresh Boy 69 from Ohio, The Lost from Howard, and Whipple 00 from Edinburgh. Once again, we don't really have a lot to go off here, but the Kutztown coaching difference is really important to consider. But you also have players like Power and Real J Hammy who are just going off of Bobby J's the hype train there. But you know what? I think Solution's right. You gotta give it up to Super Fresh Boy 69. I think Super Fresh Boy 69 is legitimately the favorite here. We don't know much about these players, but if top two is Skringle McCringleberry and Super Fresh Boy 69, would you be surprised? I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, let's wrap up here. Division 1, I'll put Technical for now, but that could change. Division 2A, I don't know. Division 2B, Wisp. Overall, Division 2, I don't know. Division 3, Brad Joe or Sunset. I'm going to go Brad Joe. Division 4 is Bobby J, 10K. Division 5A, I have Ocean Rhapsody. And Division 5B, Super Fresh Boy 69. And you know what? I think Super Fresh Boy 69 is going to have a great run. But I think the IRL coaching difference from Technical is just too big. Ocean Rhapsody wins D5. Why not? Why not? Can you imagine a world where Technical and Rhapsody win? Can you imagine that kind of that's a power move right there? That is couple goals right there if they win their own divisions. What the heck? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could beat a player with the name Super Fresh Boy 69, but if I'm being coached by a multiple world record holder, I think they can do it. She might be able to do it. Why not? But I don't know. Okay, so yeah, that wraps up pretty much what I have for ECRC then. I don't know hype. Yeah, I think honestly, some great players we gotta. If I haven't hyped them up before, yeah, we're hyping up. I don't know. I don't know such a good player. Other players we're gonna hype up. Baja, I think it's gonna go. It's hella underrated in Division Two. Same with Wumbo. Other players that need to shout out. Toadmaster, I think is gonna be hella improve a lot. Same with the Blizzard and Thermal. We went through the whole speech of Bobby J 10K for obvious reasons, but Hyper Evil Man's gonna be really good. And really here, I'm excited to see Saiku low key from Oregon. Also excited from 5B, Sissy, similarly, as well as Halloran from Heidelberg. Really excited to see that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. It's up. Okay, last thing for today. The University of Michigan versus Kutztown University. Holy, what a table. What a table. That's what I'm confused about. I'm like, is one of these MCs actually just Batboo? Like, I'm very confused. It's like, do you mean to tell me? Like, I would believe it if MC technically just dropped 149. But for table purposes, how is MC playing on two switches? Unless they're playing split screen, like MC's just playing split screen with himself, because that'd be crazy. But let's analyze the table itself. A 94 win for Michigan. Crow 142. Mexican 117. Whooper 105. Short 91. Maybe 59. Crimson 25. Dear Lord. Like, dear Lord. 142. 117. 105. 3 players over 100. You know how scary it is? How many teams have broken UM top 3? I'm gonna quick check, because, like, I don't know. Every time I say I don't know now at this point, it's just all I'm thinking of is the Michigan State player, for good, obvious reasons. UM got top 3 against UNI. UM got top 4 against PSP. No, wait, Spoon, you got second against Michigan. So you did. In fact, not common. You might be the first person to break in. You might be the only one in I don't know how many, like, Michigan scrims there are. Especially with this lineup, I don't know. But I'm gonna quick check some more scrim results, because aside from that, I don't know if anyone else has. It's hard to tell. Michigan did lose a scrim to UCLA with only Whooper and Short playing, and that had Cairo break in. Okay, updated table. Thank you. Okay, this makes more sense. This makes a lot more sense now. Because I was like, MC's great. I don't think MC's playing on two switches, though. But yeah, as Spoon was talking about, it's so hard to break into Michigan top 3. And, like, you know how crazy it is to see Technical only have 90? To see no one on Kutztown break 100? Wow. Yeah, I agree with you, Spoon. With Mexican playing and only by 90 winning by 94 is surprising, but like Michigan's 5-6 just aren't there yet. Maybe with a 59 is solid, but in terms of like everyone else, like they're still finding those like the depth. Michigan's like still finding that. But when their top 4 plays, it's so crazy. It's so scary. Like, you know how hard it is to have Shorts as your 4th best player? Like, what do you do? Legitimately one of the best players in our community, in the collegiate community, and is the 4th option. What? That's not fair. I wish I found the Crow at Moravian when I was still playing with them, like, leading. If I could find a Mexican or a Whooper, like, 1 year, I would have been set. No. You mean to tell me Short finds Crow, Mexican, and Whooper all in this within, like, months of each other? That is crazy. But yeah. We said this about other teams. We don't know how this happens. We know Michigan has at least more of a we know they have a defined weakness, which is their 5-6. Realistically, Ray Allen to Michigan, Broadway to Bosch. That's true though. This is Michigan feels eerily like the 2019 where they had Curry, Clay, Durant, Draymond, and Boogie. So like they have they seem stacked on paper, but any of them go down, and what's left on that team? Yes, they have a bench, but like it's hard to tell, really. Or this feels like every 2K team made by like some like 8-year-old who thinks that like all I need are star players and I don't need to have a bench. If I have like 490 overalls, then we'll be fine as long as even if my like point guard is like a 64 and I have no bench, we'll be fine. But no, one player goes down and what happens? And obviously in this game, depth matters. Michigan is going to fall into the same realm as Texas Unified was. They win if they gather. If Michigan doesn't gather as much as we think they're going to, then that's where the cracks start to show. That's where the inexperience on the new players really gets hit. Let's hope not, yeah. We would hope gathering isn't hard for them, but look at what happened with Texas Unified. Internal stuff as well, but like, we never saw Nick play. Sam didn't play much after like the first week. Greg and Adam could only do so much. Things happen. College life happens. It's hard to tell now. But yeah, you never know. Is Whooper going to play every match? We already know. We're already seeing it in like 4s in ECRC. Crow's not playing. Mexican wasn't there still this week. We haven't seen a lot. Yeah. Best player to ever pass CKL, yeah. Would agree. Nick was the best player to ever pass CKL. A shame they were only able to play one time. But Michigan, on paper, is the best team in the country. In practice, we don't know yet. Because there's other factors you gotta consider. You gotta consider, like, not having everyone available. How is the 5-6 gonna play out? Because we know depth is gonna matter, and I think Kutztown depth is better than the Michigan depth. I think the core of Michigan beats out Kutztown. But this is also a Kutztown without Trey. So, who knows? We'll get Kutztown. 95 from Batboo, 90 for Technical, 89 from Bo, Steepy and 66, MC 54, JK 51. Kutztown has a lot more depth here also. Look at Sunset, look at Anomaly, Trey, as we mentioned. But it's so weird. I know a Solution mentioned it. A 90 from Tech just doesn't feel right. Like, what was technical dropping in CKL? Like 160s, 170s? Crazy. This is like, how 90 is considered low for a player is just wild to me, but we expect so much. So, yeah. Kutztown also, I don't know if they've played together as much since like last season ended, because I know there's a lot of like stuff within Kutztown, like within how they're organized for their esports org is like rough for them to like gather. So I don't know if they're able to like play as much as like Michigan was, because Michigan's gathered for a lot of scrims, and they played Syllabus, so there's that factor. Because they're still trying to find that chemistry again, like that they had last season. But yeah, Michigan has the same blue in this table as Dynaco. Different shade, yes, but like, yeah. The league has changed a lot. And I'm scared in a way, because like, this is, what do I do as a prediction? What do I do with predictions wise? It's like, dang, got teams like Michigan coming up like this? I'm excited. It's so exciting because like, we had Syllabus Week, we have ECRC coming up then, and then 6v6 season. This is like, this next few months of collegiate Mario Kart is going to be absolutely beautiful. And really, there's so much storyline to tell here. And I'm like, I don't know where you even begin. But if this is only the beginning, who knows what happens in this? You know they're going to be playing against each other again at some point, so who knows? But let's see, even I know. Sure. Okay. Cinda is in the ECRC circuit. There's a world where Cinda plays at some point. Imagine that. But yeah, there's a lot of the players like. Cinda's just not on any team. I think. Like, I think Cinda's by themselves, but I'm trying to see because I forget what school. I want to say GMU. Yeah, George Mason University. So GMU is not playing, but dear Lord, imagine playing against Cinda in fours. I would have quit. Honestly, that's like move Moravian down to D2. If Cinda's playing in fours, move us down. I'm not about to play the person who basically runs Lounge. In FFA too. Oh my god. At that point, yeah, just an entire all-star division. Like, it's crazy. In the near future, like, think about all the players you could have coming into like ECRC, CKL. Ace T-Man is in college. I don't know what school, but they're on the East Coast. They might see them in next year. Never know. Gyarados is a student. If ECRC opens up West, maybe see him in FFA season. A lot of players in like the bigger in like the overall scene is young. The player base is young, so maybe they're just hitting college. Team-Man to transfer to UGA. Honestly, that's the move right there. That's the move. If you can get that to happen, that's crazy. Yeah, an alumni that could play too. There's a few recent graduates who could have been in ECRC. And I think that would have been just insane. Okay. It's 6:30 Eastern. FFA starts FFA starts tonight, so I think I have it at 7 p.m. on the video thing, or it might be 8. Oops. You can tell I'm not like doing that. Yeah, 8 o'clock, yeah. What happened while you were gone? You missed maybe one of the biggest inspirational speeches about Bobby J 10K, who is going to be a name to watch for. So yeah, 8 o'clock Eastern. I have we're moving Dynamo to D1, and Dynamo's MVPing in FFA. That's for sure. You missed Michigan Kutztown scrim result. Big result. And that's just it. I'm going to actually have to head off though because I do have a VOD review with Oklahoma coming up in an hour ish at some point later. So gotta prep for that. Gotta make sure they're all set. But for all those playing at ECRC this weekend, good luck. For those playing in syllabus week to wrap it up, good luck to you guys, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Yeah, it should be Wednesday again for the regular CK 101 stream. But that is it for me. Yep, thank you, Spoo. Good luck to you guys as well. Yep, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week for some more CK 101. Have a good night, guys.